Hey guys, welcome to episode 1 of our new series, Sketchy Fridays. Today we'll be competing to see who is the best artist. The winner will receive $20 and the loser has to jump off a bridge fully clothed. Let's meet today's contestants. To pick today's topics, we're going to be using throwing knives.
Did you fucking do it? Oh.
Oh. Go for Neo Trad. Yeah, we'll take it. Alright, so this week's challenge, the subject is elemental, and it's going to be a neo-traditional back piece. Let's get into it. We'll only have 60 minutes to draw, and we're not allowed to use any references. So I started with a sketch out on paper. I wanted to do a neo-trad face with our fire elements around it. Might have been a little bit busy in hindsight. I probably would have simplified it a little bit and taken some more time on the birds and on the face. Overall, pretty happy with how it turned out. But yeah, pretty difficult with no reference and a strict time limit. Keen to see how it gets judged by Tom, who knows his stuff on neo-trad.
My chosen element was fire. I started out by sketching some basic shapes until I'd formulated an idea. I was really happy with how the initial sketch was looking, but due to the short time limit, I wasn't able to extract a nice design from that. Even drawing something as simple as a skull with no reference was very difficult, and this ate up a lot of my time. So in the end, my drawing was lacking a bit of detail.
For my design, I started off with drawing it on paper and then I took it into Procreate on my iPad to clean it up. I chose air as my element. I decided to add some eyes into the moon and the clouds just to make it a little bit more on the neo-traditional side of things. I think I went a little bit outside the box with this one, but overall I'm pretty happy with how it turned out, and yeah, we'll see how it goes.
So with the drawings done, let's take it to Tom, who's our judge this week.
I really like the colour palette, very neo-traditional, and the amount of detail, thick and thin lines. I think it really gives a good first impression. Considering there's only an hour for it, polish-wise, I'd probably give it like a 7 or an 8, so maybe like a 7.5. Really well constructed. I think it followed it pretty closely with the phoenixes and the flames and stuff. I think he's added enough of the fire element to everything to say that it follows it. So I would probably give that an 8, just finding creative ways to add the fire into it. Especially for Neo Trad, I've got to go like a 9. Just the way everything's all thought through. There's a perfect blend of every colour all throughout it. It's really well layered, and it's like a perfect balance. I really like the balance of the oranges and greys and stuff, and I think overall it has a nice flow throughout it. It's really easy to read, which is good. For neo-traditional, I don't know if there's enough detail in there for me. Polish, I would give like a 7.5 to an 8, probably an 8. It does follow it pretty well. I do think a little bit more could be done for it if it's going to be a back piece, especially around the bottom, like with the candle and everything. Like, I do like that. I think you could have even had like a couple more or some more elements to it just to put more detail into it for a back piece. So I'd probably give it a 7. Creative wise, it's really well executed with the idea of it all, but if I was to compare it to the amount of creativity in Toby's one, I don't think it would match that. So I'd probably go a 7.5 for that. First impressions, I like it. The flow and everything is different to everyone else's. It uses negative space really well, and the clouds and everything definitely give like a real mystical, nice feeling to it. Polish wise, I think it is pretty well polished just because the symmetry of it all is well thought through, and the way that your eye reads it when you're going and looking all over the whole thing, it's really well structured. I would say an 8. I'm going to say, following it, I'm going to give it a 7.5. Creative is good because it's a different approach to everything else, like the other 2 entries. I also like that there's structure through the little line work stars, but then there's a really organic flow throughout the clouds and the moon. I would probably, for creativity, give it an 8. It was a really close call, but today I've got to give the winning piece to Toby.
Oh, thank you, Sam.
Yeah! Unfortunately, Lachlan got the lowest score this week, so you're going to have to jump off the bridge, mate.
the walk of shame.
Nice jump. Jump. We'll see you in the next one.